Today we're going to talk about two types of figurative language, similes and metaphors. Figurative language is a writer's tool. It helps the reader visualize or see what the writer is thinking. It puts a picture in the reader's mind. The first type of figurative language that we'll talk about today is a simile. A simile is used to compare two things. We have to use the words like or as to make the comparison. The first example we have here says Ryan is as fast as a horse. We are comparing Ryan to a horse, and we use the word as to make the comparison. The next one says Dad is as brave as a lion. We're comparing Dad to a lion, and we're using the word as to make the comparison. The next example says the plane soars like an eagle. We're comparing the plane to an eagle and using the word like to make the comparison. The last simile we have is the boy laughs like a hyena. We're talking about how the boy laughs and comparing it to a hyena with the word like. The next type of figurative language that we'll talk about is a metaphor. A metaphor is just like a simile in that it compares two things, but this time we cannot use the words like or as. The first example says, my life is a dream. You're comparing my life to a dream, but do not use the words like or as. The second one says, I am boiling mad. It's comparing I, or the person, to being boiling mad without using the words like or as. The third one says he was frozen with fear. It's comparing he or him to being frozen with fear. And the last one says she spilled the beans. So it's comparing her actions to spilling beans. Let's look at some more examples. Layla is as white as snow. When I look at this picture, I see I'm comparing Layla to being white like snow, and I use the word as. That makes this a simile. The next one says she is sly as a fox. I'm still comparing Layla, or she, to being sly like a fox, and I use the word as. The next one says Layla is as fast as a cheetah. I'm comparing Layla to a cheetah, and I use the word as. The last simile is Layla is warm as the sunshine. So I'm comparing Layla to the sunshine, and I use the word as. Now let's look at some metaphors. Layla is a shining star. So I'm comparing Layla to a shining star, and I do not use like or as. The next one says Layla is a clown. I'm comparing Layla to a clown without using like or as. My next metaphor says Layla's tail is a dust mop. So I'm comparing Layla to a dust mop. And the last metaphor is Layla's tongue is a vacuum. So I'm comparing Layla's tongue to a vacuum. Now let's look at some more pictures and see what we can come up with. When I look at this picture, I see a young girl, and I could say the girl is an angel. That is a metaphor because I'm comparing the girl to an angel without using like or as. I can also say the girl's dress is white like snow. That is a simile because I'm comparing her dress to snow, and I use the word like. Take a look at another picture. Let's look at another picture. In this picture, I see it's very colorful. This painting is colorful like a rainbow. I use like to compare the picture to a rainbow, so that's a simile. I can also say the musicians are a radio. meaning they're as good as being on the radio. If I compare the musicians to a radio, it's a metaphor because I did not use like or as. Let's take a look at this picture. In this picture, I can say the wind is like a tornado. When I compare the wind to a tornado using the word like, that's a simile. I can also say the water is a rocking chair. I did not use like or as, and I compared the water to a rocking chair. That's a metaphor. The next picture, I can talk about the grass. The grass is green like an emerald. That's a simile because I compared the green grass to an emerald. I can also talk about the clouds. I can say the clouds are cotton candy. That's a metaphor because I compare clouds to cotton candy without using like or as. So that's our lesson on similes and metaphors, 2 types of figurative language. You can watch this video as many times as you need to make sure you understand it.